What's up, y'all? This is MGTV Reactions, and today I'm going to be reacting on Olivia. Okay, so as we all know, Olivia came on here saying that she now has a roommate. She came on here complaining about how her roommate is messy, and how she's not, she doesn't keep things tidy and things like that. We already knew from there it's probably going to be an issue. But a lot of people speculated, that Olivia may not actually have a roommate that she's living with, and she may be in the shelter. Okay, so Olivia came on here. She went live a couple days ago to clear this up, and let people know what it is and what it's not. All right. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to jump right into this reaction, okay? But before I do so, I'm going to ask you to please comment your thoughts down below because I want to hear what y'all got to say, okay? And also hit the thumbs up button for me too, and hit the subscribe button as well if you have not done so already, okay? Okay, let's get into it.
Struggling down bad. I've never seen so many grown-ups get excited about me doing down bad stuff, okay? And it's really pathetic. It's quite honestly the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. But it's just not the truth. But like I said, if it was, I would say that. You know what I mean? I would say that. I would totally say that. I would be like, yeah, guys, I'm in a program. Shit. Like I said, more kudos to me. Shit. Why can't I get Section 8 about this bitch? Why can't I get okay? I'm not getting Section 8 and I'm not on the list or anything to get Section 8. I'm just saying I wish I was. Okay? Shoot. Shoot. Let me block this person. I wish. Shit, y'all know of a program I can get into? Let me know, honey. Let me know. Okay.
She is annoying. It's a simple fact that she's acting like, this is where she wants to be, that she wants to have a roommate at the age of 35 as a mother of five children. You know what? I just want to say this. I just want to speed it up some more and just, get straight to the point with this. I just feel like it's crazy for Olivia to be in her mid 30s, all right, with five children, although she only has two in her possession, and she's trying to make it seem as though, this is what she wants for herself to have a roommate at this time. It's the best possible choice for her, simply because, uh, simply because, she's in school, so she said, right? I, I call bullshit. I really don't believe that Olivia is happy with the situation. I don't even understand why she's sitting here trying to make it seem like to the people like she is.
Tell you guys what I want to tell you guys, and I can not tell you guys what I don't want to tell you guys. But moving here was, once again, let me say it again for the people in the back, it was a choice. In life, there's choices. I don't usually do things that I don't want to do in actual life. You feel me? And for the most part, I have choices. So, yeah. Let me block John.
So Olivia's sitting here saying that she has choices, right? And she doesn't do what she does not want to do. Okay, but like I said, at her big age, all right, and as much as she has going on in life, we all know that if Olivia really did have choices, she would have chose to have her own place and live by her lonesome because she knows, just like we know, that it's really not a good idea for her to have to live amongst another woman, especially it's not a good idea for her to be living amongst another young woman who also has children. Okay, Olivia is just O- Olivia is full of crap. Okay, we already seen her come on here and talk down about this lady about how she keeps her place and things like that, and she's making it seem like this was a choice for her. Obviously, it wasn't. It was something she had no choice but to do because the other options were unavailable. Now, I do believe that Olivia probably did mess up her credit, and she probably also messed up her mother's credit as well because I'm quite sure Stella was over there co-signing for her to get places. But you know what? This is not Olivia's not living here because she wants to. She's not having a roommate because she wants to and because that's what's best for her right now. She's she has a roommate because she doesn't have any other choice. Because she obviously was not able to stay at her sister's house forever, whatever reason that was. Okay, that didn't last very long. Now, I really want to know why that is. Why is it that she had to leave her sister's house so quickly before she was even able to obtain a place of her own for her and her children?
So yeah, this was a choice to move here, and it was hard at first because it was a change, it was something new. But I'm happy that I made this choice, and this is a temporary choice. And um when I move into my house or my next apartment or wherever I move, that will be that on that. Okay. I was just about to say, get John the F out of here. Yeah. But, and also, it was a big transition, as everything is when you move. I had to move my stuff. I had to pack up my little stuff and the little stuff that I got and bring it over here. And I missed a couple days of school. And it was hard, it was just a transition, moving from that place to this place. And um but it's okay. This is one of my last transitions. You know what I mean? I feel like once I move out of here, I'm gonna get maybe possibly another apartment, or depending on the money and depending on everything else, I might move into my forever home. We don't know yet. And when I say we, I mean me and my support.
So she said this is going to be the last transition. All right. She's saying that this situation right here with her roommate is a short term thing. So obviously she doesn't plan to be there with the roommate too long. So clearly there's going to be another transition at some point. This is obviously not the last transition. Okay. I would hope that Olivia, because at this point, in my opinion, to be at her age with as many children as she has and with everything completely that she has going on as far as like child support, custody issues, the kids, her other three kids being in a whole other state, just everything that Olivia has going on. I would hope that this right here, this basically to me, this is her being down bad. Okay. Because I'm telling you right now, at my big age of 30, I would not be willing to move me and my children into a house with another woman and her kids. I would only do that if I was forced to. If the only other option is that if I had to choose from being homeless completely or getting a roommate, then I would choose the roommate situation. But if I had other options, like she's claiming she has, that would not ever be the option for me to have to live with another woman who I am not familiar with. Okay, so bottom line is this: I would hope that this is Olivia's wake up call because to me this is like she's at the bottom of the barrel. All right, hopefully she can get herself together and at least be able to obtain her own place for her and her children. But I don't know. She's sitting here trying to act like this is something that this is the best choice she could have made for herself. And I'm just confused. I just don't feel like she's being real about the situation.
System, because a bitch got backing. Okay, so that's just that on that. Shout out to my people. Woo-woo. And yeah, you know shout out to everybody who looks out for me and loves me, cares about me, and yeah, it's a blessing. Hi gorgeous, hi AP, how are you doing? But like I said, you guys, don't let anybody get you down. Okay, when the demonic spirits around us, when they know that they cannot personally do anything to tear us down, they just attack us in every single which way. They start with the lies. They go for the thing in your heart that you care most about. They attack and attack and attack. And you know what? I've been attacked so much on this internet about my 3 children that
Girl, bye. You've been attacked on the internet, but you've also attacked other people with no reason to do so. Olivia kills me with this victim act that she keeps trying to do, but then she comes on here and brags about being the villain. She just, in the beginning of this live, because I skipped past that, okay, she got on here and she said that a lot of people were saying, she's going through all of this because um, of all the things she said about other people when they were going through and experiencing hardship, right? She said she meant everything she said about those people, all right, and she stands 10 toes on everything she says. That she's standing on it, okay? So she's perfectly fine. She doesn't see anything wrong with the fact that she antagonized and attacked those people on the internet when they were going through something. But now she wants to get on here and say that she's being attacked. Well, Olivia was never attacked until she started attacking others, and until she started doing dumb shit online. That's when the people started attacking her, and not even really attacking her, but simply just telling the truth about the behaviors that everybody else was able to witness. But you know, let her tell it she's being attacked. And people keep talking about her kids. Okay.
You guys pretty much flattened the button for me. And what that means is you guys made me like numb as far as the internet goes. So I do appreciate my haters in that way. Like, you guys, I don't give a fuck what you guys say. You guys could say anything up under the sun. This last weekend, I guess I scrolled by something and I seen it. And I guess my ex was celebrating his birthday, and then they tagged me in it, and they put my photo and his. Girl, I don't care about none of that. Like, people still try to hurt me behind my ex that I was just.
So my thing is this: if she doesn't care about any of that or anything that has to do with Jerrod, when she was tagged in those things or whatever happened, when people were trying to throw it in her face that he might have been out enjoying his birthday or whatever, she decided to come on here and post a screenshot of something that another man supposedly sent to her. And I really don't know what the point of that was. What point was that proving? That you have another man on your line? I guess that was the point. But how dumb do you look to, be moving from another one state to another? Okay, basically homeless because you were living with your sister, right? And then you go from living with your sister to now having a roommate, but you still have time to entertain men who can't help you in any way with what you got going on, men who are not adding any value to your life because if they were, you wouldn't be here in this predicament. So she posted that to prove a point, I guess, that she's no longer concerned with Gerard. But you're going to see later on in this live, she obviously is, because once again, the conversation always goes back to him. Let's go ahead and continue.
Sleeping with a couple months ago. Like, you guys could. That whole situation is so wrapped up tight and thrown in that damn garbage can out there. Like, have you guys ever felt so disgusted with yourself for messing with somebody else? That is how I feel about that man. Okay. In no type of situation is anybody over there winning. There's
So she's disgusted with herself now that, you know, she went and had an affair with Gerard. But she wasn't disgusted with it when she first came on here, proudly boasting about having an affair with her ex-husband. She was not disgusted with it then. In fact, she was very happy, proudly speaking about it, constantly coming on the internet to try and antagonize, I guess, his wife. And uh, I don't know, ruin their relationship. I guess she thought that when she came on here and she did that, she was going to have the people on her side because they will be able to see that Gerard is a dog, okay, and that he not only cheated on Liz, but he also cheated on Nisha, who a lot of people on the internet thinks is better or considers is better than Olivia, right? So she was proud of the death, but now she's disgusted. What sense does that make? You're disgusted. She's not disgusted at all. She's only saying that she's disgusted because of the things that people have said to her about her actions. But before people came on here and expressed to her that, it's not cute what she did, she was proud about it. Okay. She was on here nonstop, talking about she sat on his face. She did all types of things, but came on here and let the people know that she effed him in the car for $160. All right. But now you're disgusted with the fact that you did it. Yeah, okay. Are you disgusted with the fact that you did it, or are you disgusted with the fact that you didn't win? You're disgusted with the fact that the coochie didn't have the power. Is that what you're disgusted with? I think that's what it is. It's not the simple fact that you dealt with him specifically. Because if Gerard was willing to stay or be with Olivia or leave Antonisha for Olivia, Olivia would have went along with it. Okay, let's go ahead and continue.
no, there's no type of scenario, anything that you guys could ever make me feel any types of way about that situation. So please stop. Okay. Now, when it comes to my children,
And another thing, she said nobody over there is winning. Well, is anybody over here winning? I know, okay, Nisha's not necessarily winning because she does have her husband who has a wandering eye and who cheats, right? So that's why she's not winning. But at the end of the day, she has stability. All right, she has help. The man that she's laying up with is going to provide. So yeah, it's unfortunate that he's not loyal or not trustworthy in that regard. But I mean, it's still not your situation. So why are we talking about that? Because they may not be winning over there completely, all right, but you're definitely not winning. I'm confused. So what's the point in saying that?
I love them. I miss them. They're my babies for life. I'm their mommy for life. For life, God willing. Okay. Um, but the internet can't hurt me about that shit. Nothing you guys say. And that's the first thing. Oh, she don't even have her kids. She don't even have how could she eat at Subway? She doesn't even have her kids. How could she use an iPhone? She doesn't even have her kids. How could she drive a car? She doesn't even have her kids. It's like, pipe down. Okay. You said it enough times. We all understand Olivia's not with her 3 kids. Okay. But here's what we're not gonna do. You guys.
Right. It's been said enough times. Everybody does understand that you do not have your kids. However, um, people just they keep saying it because a real mother cannot grasp or understand how another mother can just jump ship and abandon the kids in a whole different state and just don't even care about visiting them or doing anything. A real mother is not going to be able to wrap their mind around it because real mothers don't leave their children behind. Even if, uh, even though she doesn't have full custody of the kids and they're not necessarily living under her roof, she still has visitation with them. She still was supposed to be getting them what every other weekend. She still could have gotten them for the entire summer. She still had time that could be spent with her children. And that was not as important to her as it was for her to go down to Florida, all right, to go and stay with her family and go to the gym. People just don't understand that because that's all she was doing when she went down there. Oh, and she said she was going to school. She left Texas, where she had the ability to be around all of her children, all right, and went to Florida, where she could only have 2 of them in her possession. And she thinks that people are not going to continue to say things about the simple fact that she doesn't have her kids. Yeah, people had a lot to say about the fact that she lost the kids, but it's the simple fact that she lost the kids, cried wolf, was on here spazzing out about it and constantly coming for Jerrod because he got full custody. It's the simple fact that she did all that and then she came back to Texas and then she left them again. So how much do you really care about your kids? People don't seem to be able to understand it. They don't like the fact that you are able to even do that and leave your kids behind. They don't like the fact that you don't prioritize your children, you prioritize yourself. And that's why people are going to keep saying you don't even have your kids because we don't want to hear shit about a man if you don't even have your kids. Okay, we don't care about what type of man you're looking for if you don't even have your kids. That's why people keep saying it. I'm confused. What is she not understanding about that?
We're not going to gaslight the situation anymore. We all know. We all know, for the people who have paid close attention, why I don't have my kids. Okay? Imagine this man came, took my kids from me, did the narcissist shit we were just listening to. He took my kids from me, then turns around and says, "You're never there for your kids. You keep my kids from me, but then you turn around and say, oh, you can't even be there for your kids. But you won't let me even talk." Like, you guys are not going to play.
And here we go with this bullshit. Her trying to make it seem as though Jerrod is withholding the children from her when she is the one who continues to leave them. At the end of the day, she knows just like we know when there's a custody order in place, nobody can just tell you you're not getting your kids for your visitation. And if they do that, you file a police report and you take your ass back down to the courthouse and you file a contempt against them. All right. And then the judge will handle it later on down the line in court if that's actually what's going on. But Olivia actually she didn't show up for her kids on her own. She had the ability to have them for the weekend. She had the ability to have them over the summer. All right. But she chose to leave all that behind to go and focus on herself. Jerrod has nothing to do with that. Even when Olivia was in the same state, there was times when she wasn't getting them for her visit. Even when she was in the same state, there was events that were had, there were games that were had, there were award ceremonies that were had, and Olivia let her hatred for another woman prevent her from being able to show up for her kids properly. She let that interfere with her being able to be a mother to her children, with her being able to support her children. She allowed another woman to show up for her children the way she's supposed to, all because she hates that lady and she wants her man. And that's on her. That's not on Jerrod. It's not on Jerrod at all. She's saying that, you know what, I just can't. You know what, I don't even want to get into everything because we already know what we know. But Olivia is a trip. She really is.
Play the narcissist game with me anymore, or the gaslighting game with me anymore. We all know what it is. We've all seen it live in action. Okay. Like literally you guys have seen it live and in action. Okay. So anyway, it is what it is. My situation will be handled by the Most High. You know, that's the only person who can handle my situation. That's the only entity that can handle my situation is the Most High. Okay. Not anybody on YouTube, not even me. I can't even handle that situation. God is in control and God will handle that situation. But while God is handling that situation, I'm down here on earth getting my shit together. Mama. Getting my shit together. So when my kids come back into my home with their mother, I will be fully ready and capable, you know? And that's what boss bitches do.
So I'm just confused. How and when is her children supposed to be able to come down there and be in her house? How is she going to make that happen? If she couldn't even keep it up when she was in Texas, you know, she left them without even saying goodbye. Okay, she didn't even get them like that then, unless Jerrod was. It wasn't until Jerrod started laying up with her that the visits became more consistent, in my opinion. And that probably was due to the fact that he was dropping them off or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But she's saying, you know, her kids are going to be back in her possession at some point. Well, when and how? It's not. She just be saying shit just to say it. She ain't putting in no work. She ain't fighting no type of way. And in fact, she just moved into a house with another woman and her children. And Olivia and her two kids are confined to one bedroom. So where is the space for the Web3? There is none. So I'm confused.
This is what I wish I did 5 years ago, but I didn't because I was so hung up on the sadness of it all. You know, it was hard. It was really, really hard at first. No, you're not going to just scroll through my phone. That's what you're not about to do. But yeah. But we're not going to act like it's something that it's not. Okay. That's what you guys are never going to do anymore. The haters, the watchers, the stalkers, the insane, and the delusional. Okay. We're going to act like it is what it is. Okay. Because it is what it is, honey. And in the next year or so, I will have a full-on degree to show you guys. And I will be so proud of myself.
Girl, bye. Excuse me. She's going to have a degree within the next year. Do you mean a degree or some sort of certificate? A degree of what kind? What kind? If she's in school, she has to be going to be certified for something because you're not going to obtain any sort of a degree in 1 year. So what are you talking about? Let's continue.
And you guys will be proud of me soon. But until that happens, I don't talk about my school. I just say, you know, I went to class and blah, blah, blah. I got an A on my test and blah, 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 you know. But other than that, don't worry about it. If people don't want to believe I'm in school, good. Don't believe it. Like I said, people can believe whatever they want. Okay, people can say whatever they want. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. I'm here to validate you guys and tell you guys if you guys are trying, you're on the right path. That's all it's about. That's all life is about, is trying. You can, okay, I'm trying to give you my phone. Here you go. You don't want it? Here, you want some vitamins? No. Oh, somebody's sleepy. Somebody's sleepy. Ew, Kylon in the wrong sector. I'm in the sector of pick-me's and can't do better. Okay? Can't do better than pick-me's all around me. Okay? And I'm just like, I don't want to be in this sector anymore. I don't want to be nowhere near any of these people. Don't put me in the same category. I don't care if I don't have my 3 kids. We know why I don't have my 3 kids. Shit. I always tell you guys, be grateful See my story and be grateful that you guys didn't get with a man like the man I got with, if you can even call him a man. Be grateful. Okay. I was just talking to my roommate the other day, and same shit. Same shit. I feel like when a man gets to a certain point where he really feels like he's losing you, because I've heard it from so many different women. Women always tell me, yeah, he told me he was going to take the kids. Yeah, he told me he was going to take the kids. But at the end, the men usually back down. Okay, well, I just got with one who has no type of heart, no type of feelings. And you can tell that by the way he treats people.
Olivia's sitting here acting like Jerrod wanted to take the kids from her. It seems to me, from what I remember, Jerrod was trying to have a regular co-parenting situation with Olivia. I don't think his first mind was to come and take the kids from her. It wasn't until she wouldn't allow him to see the children, when she wouldn't even allow them to talk to him on the phone or on the tablet. When he came to just pick the kids up for visit, and she went and told the police that he kidnapped the kids. All right, it wasn't until after all that, when that whole battle started, when Jerrod tried to start, when he tried or when he did go to court to take the kids from her. I mean, and Olivia made it very, very easy for him to do so because she played herself putting all that bullshit she did on the internet. She did it to herself. He didn't just come and snatch the kids from her. That wasn't a heartless move on his behalf. Olivia displayed instability on the internet for the people to see, and she gave him the ability to be able to use those things from the internet and use it against her in court. All right, and he succeeded. He was able to get his children. All right. At the end of the day, Olivia was playing with him. She was so bitter and so hurt about the simple fact that he went and wiped up the same woman he was cheating on her with. Okay. And I could understand her being upset or hurt by that. However, Olivia had how many other men in her house during the course of that time where he had moved on with Antonisha? So I'm confused. She did all that. She tried to stop him from being able to be around his kids. He was paying child support in two different states. All right. She put that man through all that. And somehow she turns out to be the victim because he fought for his kids in court, and she didn't fight for her kids in court. All right, and he won the battle. It's just as simple as that. That doesn't make him heartless. At the end of the day, he's a father too, and you wouldn't allow him to be a part of the kid's life without all the drama. So he went through the courts and he cut you out of the situation. You're out of the equation. He doesn't have to go through you because they're in his household now, and you get them on the weekend. Like Olivia, please, girl, bye. You made it easy for him. You did it to yourself, to be honest. And in my opinion, she really don't want the kids back like that because if she did, for one, she wouldn't have left Texas, all right? And if she really did, if she claimed that he was preventing her from seeing the kids, she knows, just like we know, that she could have used all that in court and went and fought against that too. She didn't do none of that shit. She doesn't want to go to court. She'd rather fight on her back with her legs open than actually stand on business and handle the shit like a real bitch is supposed to in court the same way he did. She'd rather do it the wrong way. And then that's why she played herself again. So yeah, in my opinion, Olivia doesn't really want those kids. She really doesn't. I mean, what Christian's birthday just passed. Did she call him? I think she put up a little Instagram post, but did she actually pick up the phone and call the app to speak to her son? Did she think to go out and pick up some things so she could send it in a package to him? Did she do any of that? Why are we not talking about that? And why are we back on the fact that Jerrod took the kids from her? Jerrod didn't actually take the kids, the judge did, because clearly you were unfit in their eyes. That's what it is.
People. It's not just how he treats me. He treats all women like dog shit. He treats people like dog shit. He treats himself like dog shit. He doesn't even care about himself, let alone other people. So that's my mistake. I will forever live with that mistake. But instead of condemning me and judging me every chance you guys get, because that's not me. That's not my story. And I'm not going to let him make that my story. Everything he's doing to the kids by keeping them out of my life and keeping them over there and and all these games he's playing and the cheating and the sleeping around and the catching gonorrhea, and everything else, girl, that's his story. That's not my story. Okay? So
for me, it's a simple fact that she's trying to blast the fact that he may or may not have, listen, with her, because she could be lying. Who knows? But she's trying to say that Jerrod contracted gonorrhea at some point in time during the course of his marriage to STD. And okay, so listen, if Jerrod was willing to confide in Olivia and let her know that he contracted gonorrhea some sort of way from somebody, and she still chose to lay down with that man, to bust it wide open for that man, unprotected, and swallow, do all the things she did, all the things she bragged about doing. She did all that, knowing that this man was out here not only cheating with her, but cheating with multiple other women and catching STDs. She's just as low down and dirty as he is. I'm confused. She's saying that like what, girl? Did he give it to you? Did he give you gonorrhea and that's how you found out? I'm quite sure that probably was the situation. Gerard probably got gonorrhea and then gave it to Olivia, and then that's how she found out that it wasn't just her and Antonisha. It was a few other women. That had to be the case because why would he be dumb enough to come on here and tell her that he got caught gonorrhea from another female? But even if he did feel comfortable confiding in her about that, the simple fact that she chose to lay down with that man unprotected, and that she bragged about laying down with him, knowing that he's out here moving like that and catching STDs at their big age. That says a lot about her. That says a lot about how nasty she is and how low her self esteem is. Okay, that's what all it tells me. She's sitting here trying to blast him about an STD. Meanwhile, when she was with him, didn't he come on here and say that she had an STD in her throat when she was cheating with a Mexican man or something like that? I believe he definitely came on here and said something happened to her throat. I got a, it's a clip out here. I'm telling you, him and Antonisha was dead alive addressing Olivia and the things she was saying, and he came on here and said that she caught an STD on her throat. I know that to be a fact. So while you're sitting here talking about that, just worry about the fact that when you were actually married to the man, you brought STDs back in the home. Don't be concerned about him bringing that shit back to his new wife. That's not none of your concern. That's what I'm saying. If Olivia was really over this man, for one, he wouldn't continuously become a topic of conversation. Obviously, she has nothing else going on outside of Gerard. All right. She doesn't come on here and talk about Zolo. She doesn't come on here and talk about Joey like that. She doesn't come on here and talk about any other man that she's dealing with like that. It always winds up coming right back to Gerard. And he's over there living his life. He cheated on his wife. He's probably still cheating on his wife, but his wife ain't leave. All right. He, they're stable. They're in a house. All right. They have cars that are functioning. They're going on vacations. They're taking the kids on outings. All right. They're doing all of that. Their life is together over there, despite the fact that he may be cheating on her. And Olivia's over here by her lonesome with her other two kids. No possession of the oldest three. All right. With a roommate that's in her 20s with her own children. I think Olivia has a lot more to be focused on than what Gerard is doing, what kind of STD he might be catching, any of that. That should be the least of her concern. And the last thing that she's mentioning, considering the fact that she herself laid down with him, knowing that.
Oh, I don't know. Life happens, things happen in life for a reason, and I really feel like it's just to wake you up, to snap you back in reality, to get your shit together, because for whatever reason, I needed that little portion of my life to happen that way, to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now? Like I had to actually see myself, lower myself to hop back in bed with that person. Literally lower myself to deal with that person. And it's just like, I saw it in real time. Like present time, real time. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, it's just a trip. It's just a trip. Life is a trip. Other women stand up for the foolishness, bird brain behavior. Yeah, it is bird brain behavior, but there's a lot of bird brains. It's just, it is what it is. I think there's more bird brains than real women. You know, real women.
Now the people are bird brains. I did not with this lady. But she wasn't a bird brain when she thought it was a good idea for her to lay on her back for a married man who she knew already was a cheater because he cheated on her in the past. She thought that was a good idea. What was she then? She obviously was the bird brain because anybody else could have seen that from a mile away that this is not going to end well. More than likely, the souls are going to come back and you're going to be salty because he's not going to leave his wife. She is the bird brain. You slept with a man who you claim snatched your children from you. All right, for $160 in the back of a truck. That's what she told us. But where's the bird brain? If we have bird brains, what the fuck does she have? I'm just like this lady.
Um, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Wait, he got gonorrhea? I'm not saying anything. I'm sorry that slipped. I'm not saying anything. Like I always, who are you calling? No. Okay, he's over here. She's over here calling people. I've said enough. I don't care, Kailani. You're not getting my phone. No. Here you go. Like I said, literally lowered myself. And I seen it. And I was clocked by the.
It's her saying lowered herself. She lowered herself dealing with the ride. Girl, you lowered yourself dealing with all the men that you were dealing with. You lowered yourself allowing all them different men to come in and out of your home from off some apps or wherever the hell she was meeting them at. She lowered herself then. She's been low. Okay, that's why she was stuck there. And when he asked her whether or not she wanted more time with the kids, she all she knew that she wanted was the dude. Okay, it wasn't even about the kids. She was already low. She was already taking it from bums and allowing other bums to be laid up with her and her kids. Olivia was already bottom of the barrel at that point in time. So for real, she really was on cloud nine when Jerrod even entertained the thought of having sex with her again. And she could not wait to come on here to talk about it. She kept alluding to that for months, talking about how her and Jerrod are on better terms and how Jerrod still wants her and he wants it and all this. She was going on and on and on before she came out here and actually said that she was sleeping with him. Like, girl, bye. You were already low. And she's as quiet as it's kept, she's still low. Because after all this bitch she got a roommate at the age of 35 and she's still on here talking about another man who's over there living his life. That tells you right there there's no growth. She ain't learned nothing. She hasn't learned anything. And if they were close enough, if she was still in the same state as him, if he tried to come back, she would be more than willing to allow him to do so. All right?
Most High. By the Most High. Not by bitches on YouTube. Not by losers out here. Not by. Stop. Not by anybody other than the Most High. Clocked mighty. Okay? Okay. Yeah, that's wild and reckless. It's extremely wild and reckless. It's extremely wild and reckless. That's why I'm saying, certain people in life, you will know that they're not good for you because they bring you down. 100%. 100%. Oh yes, 100%. They bring you right down. They bring you to their level. You have to. That's why I don't want to date anybody, and that's why I'm not looking for no man. I could have a man right now. I could have a couple men. Why can't I? Because the internet says I shouldn't? No, I could if I wanted to. I could have a man if I was living in my car. I could have a man whenever the fuck I want to have a man.
Olivia claims she doesn't want a man, but yet that's all she ever talks about. A man, a man, a man. The kind of man she wants, the kind of man she hopes to find, the kind of man she's dealt with. Olivia has dealt with men. She was having sex with men. She was doing her thing, especially when she was back in Texas, right? She was doing all that, and none of those men wanted to be with her. None of those men were around for the long haul. They came over at nighttime, and that was it. There wasn't no dates. There wasn't nothing else special going on. They just was coming over and smashing. All right, but she wants to sit here and tell us that she could just have one. Girl, who cares? I'm quite sure first of all, any woman can get a man to F them. All right, excuse me. Anybody can get a man to do that. But finding the right type of man, that's going to take time. That's going to take patience, and you're only going to attract that when you are on your way to where you want to be in life or working towards having a better life. Right now, where she's at, it wouldn't even be smart for her to deal with anybody because she's vibrating very low. All right, that's just what it is. And I'm just confused about all this talk about men. The bottom line here is at the age of 35, you are living with a roommate and you only have 2 of your kids in your possession. All right, what's actually happening? estimate, get it together. She said she's in school. She didn't tell anybody what she's in school for or whatever. But I don't know. It's just not sounding right. She said she's going to have a degree in a year. What? I'm confused. I'm confused.
man. But I don't want a man because I don't want a man on my level. I don't want a man who's working on himself, getting his shit together. No, thank you. I'm good. I want a man who's up here, has his shit together, been established, been has some money, been has, have a name for himself, blah, 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 blah. And I damn sure don't want somebody down here. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what job you do. I don't care. That type of shit, it is important. But if you are a shitty, disgusting, horrible ass person, but you have a good job, no. And if you're a great person and you don't have a job, no. Like, I want a perfect balance, okay? Yeah.
She wants a perfect balance. However, she's not even a perfect balance. She doesn't have her shit together in any capacity. All right, she's not a good person. I'm confused. So you are what you attract at the end of the day, and that's why Olivia's situation is the way it is, in my opinion. Let's listen to the rest of the BS she has to say, and then I'm going to get off of here.
So anyway, you are who you hang with. Yes, 100%. And when I was doing what I was doing, I told you guys I was drinking. I started drinking. I was doing a lot of foolish things. I was doing things that was not of Olivia. I fell off my diet because I told you guys there's no more. There's no more. All gone. Okay, let's go make you a bottle because you're getting on my nerves. Here she goes. She's tired. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay her down. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm gonna lay her down, and we're gonna finish our conversation. Let me make her a bottle.
No need to finish the conversation. I mean, Olivia, like, she's sitting here trying to make it seem like, she's where she wants to be. You know, with her having a roommate and everything like that. I don't believe that's the case. Something happened between Olivia and her sister to where though she was not able to stay at her sister's house anymore. Something happened. The sister had to have put her out and put the pressure on her because Olivia didn't even have enough time to try to get it together to have her own place. So Olivia is, I guess of course, she doesn't want the people to know that she's down bad, so she's going to get on here and act as if it's not that big of a deal. But it is, and I feel like it's sad. It just keeps getting worse and worse for this lady. And she sat there and she doubled down. Okay, she said that people were saying that she's going through what she's going through because of the things she did to other people when they were experiencing hardships. All right, and she said she doesn't regret it. She stands on everything she said, and she meant it. All right. And that is a result. This is a result of the things she said in the past. If you ask me, she sat on here and talked shit about somebody who lost custody of their child. She talked shit about somebody who was constantly getting evicted or constantly having to move. She got on here and talked shit about somebody who had multiple baby daddies, things like that. She did a lot. Okay, she had a lot to say about a lot of different people and a lot of different things. And it seems like every time she chose to do that, somehow, some way, she wound up getting hit with the same shit she was talking about other people for. All right, and she actually was getting hit worse. All right, and is still getting hit worse. So you know what? All I can say is I hope that this is Olivia's final transition at this low of a level with this roommate thing. I do hope at some point in time she's able to get herself together, get her children their own place, possibly, and try to be as present as she possibly can in those other three kids' lives because this right here, this ain't it. All right, this is not it. But anyway, you guys, that concludes my reaction on Olivia. Please hit the thumbs up button. Also, comment your thoughts down below because y'all know I want to hear what y'all got to say. And also hit the subscribe button too if you're not done so already. Okay, and until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye bye.